it's time to transition from the 2 months plus of T20 franchise cricket to suddenly 5 tests coming up between India and England. And I know it's much easier for us as viewers to transition than for batters to transition, especially opening batters, as Akash Chopra and Sanjay Wangar know full well. The challenge of opening in England in test match cricket, something that Yashasvi Jaiswal will have to face for the first time, potentially somebody like a Sai Sudarshan as well. To start up this conversation, what is the biggest challenge when it comes to opening in England? Sanjay?
Yeah, I mean, overseas conditions do play a part, but I think the most important thing is that go there with a neutral mindset instead of expecting, too many challenges. Because if you start putting doubts in your own mind, okay, there are challenges, and as you go on the road, you will find ways and methods to do it. But prima facie, when you're boarding that plane to UK, you just go with a neutral mindset that, okay, you're going to be fine if at all you stick to what has worked for you so far in your career.
So, mindset, if you can elaborate on that. Because Jaiswal, we've seen, can transition from one format. He was so good in Perth in the first test. But England is supposed to be different from Australia.
It is supposed to be different. Obviously, there is pace, there is bounce, ball comes onto the bat nicely in Australia, and once the Kookaburra ball goes a little old, then it is actually a fairly good place to bat because the ball doesn't deviate as much. But in England, as Sanjay would actually tell us better, because I never opened in test cricket in England. I played only club cricket, where the ball keeps moving any which way.
Well, it's the same ball.
It is the same ball, yes. And it will keep moving. See, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
So that is something that you need to bear in mind, focusing on your strengths for sure, what Sanjay is also saying, because whatever you focus on is something that that will stay with you more. So you need to focus on the positive things, that these are the things that I do well. But you also need to make sure two things that happen in your batting. Where your off stump is, you need to know. You can't go fishing. That is going to be a disaster as an opener with 3 slips and a gully. And these English bowlers, they will keep bowling there. That's what they do for a living. And they may look innocuous, but the ball will keep moving. It is not that Kookaburra ball which will eventually go straight. You have to hit the deck hard if you really want something to happen. English bowlers are not like that, and they're designed to actually just put the ball up there. And second would be to play the ball as close to the body as possible and not go handsy. So if anything, those are the couple of things that you must keep in mind, where your off stump is, and allow the ball to come to you.
So let's go into that, because I'm sure batting coaches would speak to Jaiswal and say, look at this Kookaburra ball in Australia, or once it's a few overs old, it'll be there for you to get runs. The Duke's ball is different. Now, it's one thing to have that conversation with him, but what kind of adjustment mentally should a batter be prepared to make?
I mean, I would say 2 things. One is try and pick the ball early and play the ball late is one mantra which generally we always speak to the players. And the second thing is defend straight, score square. Wherein, you do defend quite straight, but if the ball is swinging, you go with the swing. So most of the runs that are scored, you'd go down the memory lane. And when Saurav scored his phenomenal hundreds, he didn't drive through mid-off or didn't drive through mid-on that much. All his drives came through cover, extra cover. As also the case with Rahul's batting in England. Okay, you defend, but when the opportunity comes, you also, have a little bit of a margin that the ball is going to swing in late and then go with the swing. So, defend straight, score square, and pick the ball early, play the ball late.
How do you apply that to the way England themselves set up as batting units now? Because this wisdom comes from a time of, which we still believe is a time where that's how you succeeded. The mantra to success in England Test cricket was there. Suddenly you have the English players playing adventurous shots, trying to go at 5-6 and over even on day 1 in a test match. Is that also telling of what kind of conditions we might get on offer? Or the ball is going to swing regardless? How does it matter?
Again, it's a plan thing, it's a mindset thing, and even England for that matter has got bowled out cheaply at times. It's not that, they have been invincible. So to go in with that sort of an idea in your head is not the right way to prepare for test matches, because for test matches, you have to react to the ball, and that is a subtle change that one has to make between T20 cricket and test cricket, wherein in T20 cricket, you're thinking of putting bat on ball, whereas in test cricket, you're thinking of leaving as many balls as possible, and then, always preempting what the bowler is trying to do, wherein you have to be at the mercy of what is bowled to you in Test cricket. So those are the couple of things that the players will have to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, you see where I'm coming from in this. Even England are now playing more than they are.
Correct, correct. No, but the one thing that goes in their favor is that these are still their conditions, and you're more familiar with that. See, it's like playing spin in India where the ball is turning square. So we assume that our batters will be better equipped to handle that sort of bowling, even though it looks very challenging from the outside. If you are an Australian or a South African or an English batter, you see the ball turning and you tend to just freeze because you don't know what to do and how to react. But Indians are expected to actually handle it better. So similarly, English batters, even though and that's one thing that is just the familiarity with the conditions, that you see boundary balls where I won't. And similarly on seaming conditions, and similarly on spin, I would see boundary balls where they would actually be wondering what do I do, because I mean, I can't defend, I can't play a shot. So that's the difference in terms of the conditions. If they're radical, if they're neutral conditions, then of course both teams tend to react in a very similar fashion. But if it is a greenish pitch, Headingley first Test match, for example, if we go smashing or we go and play the English way, the chances of our failing are a lot higher than them failing. And that has happened in the past as well. So that is where I think the difference is.
Specifically on Jaiswal, his first test in England, do you see him succeeding?
It's a 5 Test match series, and what I like about Yashasvi is he's actually one of those guys who has managed to switch gears. We were just seeing during the IPL smashing every single ball, almost like a slogger at times. But come the Test matches, he's also happy to leave the ball outside off. He's also someone who will actually allow the ball to come to him as well. So in a Test match, 10 innings, I would back him to actually do well. And it's not always a first innings game. It is also about the second innings where the ball isn't moving as much. And that is where you might actually see one innings where he suddenly dominates. And then confidence is a great thing. If you got the runs, then batting is a very different pursuit. If you are low on confidence, no runs, you have seen the best struggle.
Well, I mean, one of Sanjay's many wishes is to see a player play the same position in all formats. Jaiswal looks the one set for it.
KL Rahul, same guy. I mean, if you ask him to open in 1 day, he'll open, right? Rohit Sharma did that towards the latter half of his career. Last England series was Rohit Sharma series.
Right. He will probably have a KL Rahul with experience of opening in England. But in your experience of working with players who shift from one format to the next, these are players that are just going to be coming out of an IPL for more than 2 months. Jaiswal included, Gill, Sai Sudarshan, whoever opens, even KL for that matter, whatever his experience may be. What's the biggest challenge you see when you have to have conversations with players about completely trying to change or shift from 2 months of franchise cricket to Test cricket?
If there's one thing wherein you want to have those discussions, this is about hand speed. Wherein if your hands are literally, because in T20 cricket, hitting the ball is paramount, whereas it's the other way around, wherein you still have to have a solid defense to succeed and to bat for longer periods in Test cricket. So how can you reduce your bat speed is a discussion that you would certainly want to have. And that may have repercussions on how you're holding the bat, whether with your hands, are the hands tighter or just firm, because there's a big difference between hands tight on the handle or top hand firm and bottom hand relaxed. How high is your back lift? Because in T20 cricket, the entire focus is on having high back lifts, horizontal bat frames.
Are these significant adjustments or minor adjustments?
These are minor adjustments, but these are the adjustments that you discuss and you try and get back those feel things during practice or during preparation.
Can it happen as easily as a couple of training sessions?
That's what I was going to actually ask. How easy or difficult it is, because we come from an era where we didn't need to change a thing.
I mean, it all boils down to the individual. Like there were instances during my time wherein even though we were playing wide ball cricket, but then there were some players who during wide ball series, we were practicing with red ball as well.
Okay.
So just to be ahead of time, just to give you those extra couple of sessions, 5 or 6 sessions can also make a massive difference. So it all boils down to the to the intent and the motivation and the desire of that particular player to conquer those conditions. So if somebody is in that sort of a mindset, he'll find a way and he will find a method to adapt, because all the best players in the game have done that. Like you look at Sachin Tendulkar for that matter, wherein if he was batting in Australia, there would be a front press. If he was batting elsewhere, his movements would be different. And those are minor adjustments which a player playing at the elite level must be able to achieve, because that's the challenge. Otherwise, there's not much of a difference between a first-class cricket game and a game at the highest level.
Okay, just to close out the conversation, India have come off a really tough last test overseas assignment where stitching together a solid opening stand was a major issue with Rohit Sharma's form. This is a very different time now. There is a lot of young youth, there is different captain. Many of us don't know what to expect. What can you expect from the amount of inexperience or the amount of inexperience India's top order has in English conditions? What is your realistic expectation?
See, I am actually not being too ambitious, very honestly.
Okay.
I feel there will be good days, there will be bad days as well. And as a nation, we should be okay with it.
Okay.
As a cricketing nation, following that, it's not going to be hunky-dory all the time. And if you see one great innings where the team has managed to bat 4.5 sessions, that does not guarantee that it is going to be the same the next following innings and the following innings. I think it's going to be a little more inconsistent to begin with, because there are too many changes. Let's be fair, Yashasvi's first tour. Sai Sudarshan, we don't know, I mean first tour. You got a new captain. Then you got number 6 who's never played in England again. Yeah. So there are too many variables actually. So I think let's be okay with some amount of inconsistency.
Sanjay?
Gives a great chance for this young team to achieve something special together, because they're setting out on a journey and with lesser pressure, I mean, as compared to the earlier teams wherein the benchmark suddenly got raised, wherein, okay, you beat Australia twice in Australia and everybody starts to think that, okay, this is the time wherein India is going to go to South Africa, to New Zealand, to England, wherein they came pretty close but didn't manage to win the series. So could be something special as well. I'm looking at the positive side of the things, wherein in times to come, I think this very team, because don't forget that even England at this particular moment, after the retirements of Anderson, Stuart Broad, doesn't really have that lethal bowling attack. So
sure.
Therein lies the opportunity, because if Siraj, Shami and Bumrah are fit, I think Indian bowling is far more equipped to bowl them out twice rather than England trying to bowl us twice.
Yeah, even in Shami's absence, Akashdeep also seems like a more than
Prasidh Krishna.
promising bowler for England. Prasidh, if they throw in a left armour. Right, final word, your message to the openers, just so that you don't forget. Mr. Bangar?
Well, I think just shut out all the distractions, because when I played in England, I never knew a thing about, what to expect. You just go in and, adjust, because if you can be mindful of certain small things, your intelligence will take over, your subconscious will take over. So it's as normal as playing in any of the northern states of India. So don't really think that, okay, it's going to be something out of this world.
Yeah, like you said, just defend straight and score square. I like that one. I remember it. It's easy for me to remember.
It's a good one actually.
Akash?
Just forget what happened on the last ball. You will get beaten. England, new ball, you will face deliveries that seem unplayable, but forget about it. That's the general norm as well. But when you're playing a lot of T20 cricket, white ball cricket, you tend to get a little fidgety if you're beaten twice or thrice. But that is a norm in England. Be okay with it.
Gentlemen, you all have left every bad ball I've bowled or every good ball I've bowled and smashed every bad ball I have. Excellent opening stand. Thank you very much. Akash Chopra, Sanjay Bangar.
Thank you very much.